Hi, I'm Cynthia, and I guess the best way to go about this is to tell you how I got to where I am. I'm a theater activist, which means that I engage in the work of tackling social justice issues through theater. It's work that I love because it's the perfect merging of two huge aspects of my life, social justice and theater. Now, I was a child performer. A tap dancer. I performed at the World's Fair in Montreal in 1967 with my sister. We had a duo. I was also a child with orthopedic issues. I was born with a leg length discrepancy, which means that I had to wear a lift on one of my shoes all through elementary school, right up until I had corrective surgery before middle school. Now, all that is to say that I know what it's like to be the other, to be ostracized for being different, seen as inferior or not good enough. Now, fast forward many years. I went to acting school, the American Conservatory Theater in San Francisco, and when I graduated, I hit the ground running with my acting career. And while I really loved acting, there was something about the messaging of mainstream entertainment that just didn't sit right with me. I didn't want to be involved in violent shows. I didn't want to be involved in messaging directed particularly at young girls saying that they weren't good enough the way they were. I didn't want to be involved in a business that told me that I wasn't good enough the way I was. So I started really in earnest to look for what I could do with my learning that would really speak to me. Then one day I met someone at a party now, and she was doing the kind of stuff that I wanted to be doing. She was working with community groups, helping them engage in constructive dialogue about issues relevant to them, and then helping them build plays that they could present to target audiences who had the power to help create change. And now, for the bunch of years that followed, I worked side by side with her, and we developed the play devising methodology that has earned her company numerous awards. Now, fast forward again to 4 years ago. I returned to school and completed my BA at Antioch University in Los Angeles. And a huge part of my time spent there was with the Bridge program. Now, Bridge is a program that offers free education in the humanities to people who don't have a lot of access to higher education. People with really low incomes, people who may or may not have ever finished high school, people who've had brushes and experiences with the judicial system and the foster system and the educational system. People who believe that higher education is not for them, not anything that they could even aspire to, and not anything that would ever be given to them. Now, I wanted to be involved in the program, and I did become involved in the program as an intern and then as a program coordinator. Well, I wanted to be there because I knew I had something to offer. What I wasn't prepared for was how much personal growth I would have as a result of being there. Now, the Bridge program attracts a wide variety of people, including many from Skid Row. And one of the biggest lessons I learned while working for the program is that people from Skid Row have deep and rich stories to tell. And they have so much more potential than we often give them credit for at face value. And I also learned that I could easily be one of them. You see, I come from a working class family. I work really hard for a living. I work project to project as a contract artist. And one false step could put me in a place of not knowing where my rent is going to come from or not knowing where my next meal is going to come from. I learned that the women of Skid Row and I are really not that different at all. Their fate is my fate. Their failures are my failures, and my successes have the potential to be their successes as well. I learned that part of my mission is to work to help change some of the prevailing attitude about the women on Skid Row. And the best way to do that is to engage all the women downtown, bring them into dialogue with each other, help them learn about each other by hearing each other's stories and telling their own stories, and understanding that all of those individual stories are our stories. But that's what the Skid Row Central City Women's Theater Project is all about. Bringing women together to reimagine the future of downtown Los Angeles that's changing quickly quickly due to gentrification and pushing some of our most vulnerable populations out and away from resources. And I am hoping that you might want to help me. Thank you for listening.